Hello, welcome to Beach View, our podcast about all sorts of things and stuff.
Yes, and today we're talking about Bocchi the Rock, which is a 2022 anime.
Yes, exactly. So I had watched part of this with you a while back, but I was thinking it was like older than 2022, but then I was like, well, that was like 3 years ago, so yeah, I just couldn't remember when that was.
Yeah. I believe that would have been December 2023, but
yeah. You would know,
anyways,
yeah.
Yeah. So this is a comedy musical anime about a young girl with anxiety named Hitori Goto, later nicknamed Bocchi. It's about her joining a band, making friends, and the wacky hijinks that ensue from that.
That's a good description.
Yeah, I took notes on this for the first time in forever.
I didn't take any notes. I'm just going by the vibes today. So, yeah, it's a cute show. I remember watching part of it, but I don't think we even watched like a full episode, I want to say. So I was like kind of familiar with it, but not super familiar. But I thought it was like the cutest anime, and I understand like why it was so popular.
Yeah. Just getting a second season that was announced earlier this year.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, sort of was a hit when it came out.
Yeah.
Definitely got popular after that. Yeah, I think this is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. So
yeah, I really like it. The main character is just like, I don't know. I love how like dramatic it is too. Like, I guess I think what was the last one we watched? Was it Death Note?
Yeah.
Yeah, like going from that to like this style of anime, I think was this one's like so much more like lighthearted.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It was really like, I just keep saying cute. It was such a cute show. Like the main character is like so lovable. I love it.
Yeah, well, we watched episodes 1 through 6 for this, just to like kind of split it in half.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not watching the equivalent of like 2 movies for one podcast?
Yeah, thankfully. They are quick episodes though, I'll say. They go by pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite character, favorite moment?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really like the main character, Bocchi, and I think she's like I said, I love the dramatics. Like she like hides in her closet, and like her real personality comes out like when she's alone in like dark spaces, because she has like a pretty severe case of social anxiety, I would say.
Yeah.
And it just to see her like growth through the first 6 episodes and like her self-talk, I love. I think that's like my like my favorite thing. Like she's, we hear the narration of like what she's telling herself in her mind, and like it's so cute that like she has this dream of wanting to be like a superstar kind of, and she's like, but how can I do that like when I'm like this? And so we see her like always doubting herself, and I just think it's so cute that she like pushes herself. And like what I was surprised at were the other girls in the band that like come together for this band are super nice and understanding to her. Like they don't get annoyed with her, they're just like, maybe we shouldn't push her, like, kind of, they're just very thoughtful, and I really like that.
Yeah, well, basically everybody in the show is, like, the conflict isn't with other people, it's an internal conflict.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, even the one alcoholic character is also really, like, sweet.
I know, I was kind of surprised at that. Like, I was like, she's like, this is what did she say? Like, her happy, like...
Her happiness spiral?
Yeah, happiness spiral. I was about to say, like, happy phase. I knew that wasn't right. My happiness spiral as she's, like, drinking drink after drink after drink. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Like, slow down.
Did you actually read that? I don't know if, like, whatever version you were watching had the translation.
What, did I read happiness spiral?
Yeah. There's, like,
yeah. I'm pretty sure.
It's very dark.
Yes! I was like, whoa. Yeah, that part surprised me.
She calls it a happiness spiral, but it's actually
yeah, it's actually not. Yeah. I kept seeing like the little advisory, like when the videos would start, like alcohol and whatever, and I'm like, where is there alcohol in this? And then I got to that episode and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, there it is. But she was super sweet, so, and like very encouraging, and an older like rocker who was like encouraging her. It was really nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think the main character is my favorite. I also liked the sister of one of the bandmates, who's the manager.
Yeah.
Because like in her own way, like she was trying to like help them, but it comes across as like just being like nonchalant and like, you know, just kind of apathetic. But she's actually like really doing good for them, you know? So I liked her like whole vibe, I guess.
That's one of the funniest scenes to me, where she's like trying to be encouraging to Bocchi, because she's like,
yeah,
she's really good, I need to give her some encouragement, and she just ends up scaring her because she doesn't know how to say it.
Yeah, she's like, I see you, and then Bocchi's like, oh no, she's watching me. Backfired. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really funny.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like all the characters. I think that's what makes this show like lovable. There's not like one character that I disliked, you know?
Yeah. And their interactions are very funny. I like how Bocchi just like, someone will say something and she'll just like imagine a worst case scenario that's gonna happen.
Yes, like she's like, I can't even answer people. I stammer. And it's just such a cute thing because, like, you know, people don't make fun of her at school. They just kind of like leave her to herself because she's, you know, they might not know how to approach her. And when like she does have an encounter with a couple of students, they're like, yeah, you know, like kind of like encouraging, like, yeah, what's up, you know? But she like can't, you know, she's like, oh, I forgot. And like doesn't speak to them. It's just so cute because it's like you can see she wants to reach out, but she's having such a hard time. And that's, you know, it's just to see her like growth in the band is like the sweetest thing, I think.
Yep.
What about you? Who's your favorite character?
Oh, the alcoholic.
The alcoholic. Yeah, she's cool. It's cool character.
Not having a great time of life, though, I think.
Well, depends on how you look at it.
I mean, she wakes up, like, if we're introduced to her waking up, like, hungover on the street,
yes,
so...
Yeah. I mean, happens to the best of them. But I love that interaction, because she's like, I need water, and I need hangover medicine, and I need some miso soup. And then she's like, oh, I didn't think you were actually going to get all of that for me. It's really cute.
Yeah, also, not too much of this in this set of episodes, but I like how sometimes they'll use mixed media, so they'll, like, a few times they'll use some, like, live-action shots of stuff.
I did notice
which was
that.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be a few more of those coming up if we watch the second half, which it seems like you like this, so
yeah. I was gonna say, we gotta finish it. I'm gonna see what happens.
Also, as a fun little detail, I like how Kita calls her actual name, while the rest of them call her by her nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Because she wasn't there when she got nicknamed and knows her from school.
Oh, that's right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat little detail.
That is cute. And I like the part where they're asking her, like, what is she like at school? And she's like, you know, now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever seen her around another person. I was like, aw, poor little thing.
Yep.
It's cute.
But, yeah, I guess we'll get into a plot synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I wrote them out for each of these episodes for once.
Oh, look at you.
I mean, I did that for Death Note, but every time we do a movie, I'm like, I should really write these out, and then I don't. So episode 1, we open with Hitori, Bocchi, describing her situation about, like, you know, not really getting on with people and being lonely and wanting to change it. And then she watches a TV interview with a band, and she decides, because the band on the TV is like, yeah, I used to be really a loner in high school, but then I joined a band and now everybody loves me. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna learn guitar and join a band to fix my problems. Despite this, however, 3 years pass, and she's still been unable to join a band. but she has been uploading videos to the internet. And she reads a comment, and after reading it, she decides, oh, I'm going to bring my guitar to school. And that'll get someone to come up and talk to me. However, nobody does during the whole school day, so she ends up whooping in a park. But then we're introduced to our next main character, Nijika, who notices her guitar and spirits her away to play a concert with her band. Hitori's anxious about this the whole time, and they get to the club and meet Ryo, the bassist for the band, as well as our next main character. And they practice, but because Bocchi has anxiety, she's not very good at playing with other people, as her guitar imaginary friend pops up to say.
I love it.
We also get a fake credits roll from this. Yeah, she mopes about this, is given the nickname Bocchi, which I don't know if you caught that that's like kind of a mean nickname.
Yeah.
But because she's never been given a nickname before, she jumps on it.
She's like all excited.
Yeah. That eventually she does decide to play the concert, but she's hiding under a box to do it.
Really funny.
Yeah, the concert doesn't go great, but she decides to play with the band going forward. Next episode, we open with her soaking in ice water to get herself sick. And then we flash back to her meeting with the band after some, getting to know each other. They decide they need to get jobs to pay for their concert quotas. And that's why she's trying to get sick so she can get out of working the job. She's all anxious about it. She doesn't get sick, however, and ends up working with them at the club. And then we're introduced to Nijika's sister, who's the manager at the club. She starts learning how to work at the club, struggles at first, has a heart-to-heart with Nijika, and endeavors to work to get better with both her anxiety and the band. And then at the end, she does get sick, ironically.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3, after getting over her cold, she still struggles to socialize. However, she runs into the fourth main character, Kita, at her school and decides to recruit her into the band. After failing to talk to her in class, she plays a sad song, which Kita hears, leading the two to talk, and Bocchi convinces her to join, and reluctantly agrees to teach her to play guitar. And then the two make their way to the club. We learn that she initially joined the band, Kita did, but left because she didn't know how to play guitar. And then they all work at the club, and Kita and Bocchi have a talk about, what they want to get out of this band, and she ultimately decides not to join the band. However, the rest of the members do manage to convince her. So, 4, the band has a meeting, and at the end, Bocchi's reminded that she has to write lyrics. She has trouble with this, then the band invites her to take photos, and afterwards they hang out. And then after that, Bocchi meets Ryo at a restaurant to discuss lyrics, and Ryo gives Bocchi some encouragement about, because originally Bocchi was going to write, what she thought were popular lyrics, but Ryo tells her to write, what she wants to write, and then Bocchi writes the lyrics. Episode 5, we open on the band meeting again. They get paid but lose the money to cover concert fees, and, apparently bands are very expensive. Then Nijika asks her sister to let them play another concert, but she refuses at first because they're not good enough. She does, however, give them the chance to audition, and they all endeavor to practice really hard, and they practice a lot, determining that they're gonna get better and ace the audition, and they do that, and they pass, and at the end, they find out they all have to meet a 5-ticket quota, which goes into episode 6, which causes Bocchi to panic about trying to meet the ticket quota.
That was a cute part. She's like, Mom, Dad, dog, sister, one more ticket. And they're like, no, your sister can't go, the dog can't go.
Yeah, but so she has to find a way to sell her tickets. And while out, she runs into, I don't think she gives her name, but it's
yeah,
Kikari.
I don't think so.
Who's an alcoholic musician who we were talking about earlier. And she ends up roping Bocchi into hanging out with her because Bocchi's too anxious to leave.
Yeah.
And then they go to retrieve her missing bass. Because she finds out, she's also a musician. And then the two end up playing on the street, attract an audience, and that Bocchi manages to sell her tickets to some of the people who were listening to her.
Yeah, and it was really cute because she was so anxious, but the other musician was like, well, just close your eyes. So she's like, okay, yeah, that helps. And so she eventually like opens one eye, and the musician can tell, like, you know, she's like very shy, and she's like, I know this one's gonna be a big star.
Also funny, there's like kind of a running joke with them being like flaky with money, because when Rio calls her up to the restaurant, they're about to leave, and she's like, oh, aren't you gonna pay? And she's like, no, I don't have any money.
Yeah, and she's like, okay, I guess I'll pay.
Yeah, and then Kikuri buys the ticket from her, and then she walks off. She's like, oh, that was the last of my money. Can I borrow money for the train?
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, that Rio's such a funny character, because she says she's rich, she just spends all of her allowance on instruments. So she ends up not having money.
Yeah, yes, that's very funny. So, like, they're all, like, struggling. Like, they all have the jobs to, like, help pay for stuff, because they're like, band stuff is really expensive, like, albums and artwork and, like, you know, like, all this stuff. And she's just like, yeah. Like, she has money, but doesn't.
Yeah, well, and also, Kita bought a 6-string bass instead of a guitar.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I've been practicing, but it hasn't gone anywhere. And then they find out she bought a 6-string bass instead of a guitar. Rio offers to buy it off her, and she's like, but I'll have to eat weeds.
Yeah.
If I do this. And they're, like, not sure if she's joking or not. In the end of that episode, she shows up, and she's, like, chewing down on a weed.
Yeah, and they're like, are you really eating weeds? Yes. That was very funny.
Yeah, she's also very full of herself. Like, the first episode, they're like, you suck to Bocchi. And Nishika's like, no, okay, I suck too. Like, she's trying to, like, cheer her up. But then Rio's like, I'm great.
Yeah, and I love how, I forget the name, but the blonde one.
Nijika.
Yeah, she's like, I would love to know where you get this confidence from. Like, I love her little side comments. Like, she's always just, like, putting her in check a little bit. Like, oh, wow, you're very confident. So you have her, and then the opposite in Bocchi, which is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't mention anything about the joke where she starts, like, screaming.
Wait, which joke?
So, when they're taking pictures, and they're like, you should get, and, I forget what they say, but it's like fake Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
She starts screaming. I thought you'd be like, oh, that bothered me. I didn't like the screaming.
No, some of it did bother me a little bit, but there was so much, like, drama that, like, I thought it was funny. Then I'm like, okay, it's a little chaotic. But it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was, like, for the character. Now, I didn't realize at first, like, when they were showing her, like, bowing, like, a ton, I thought she was, like banging her head into the floor. I didn't realize until, like, another character did it that they were, like, bowing, which is obviously part of their culture. But I was just like, this is violent. I don't like this. Like, I thought, because it had, like, a sound effect. So I was like, oh my gosh, is she, like, banging her head into the floor? But obviously she was not. But I didn't catch that at first. So I was like, oh wow, like, she's just really beating herself up, like, literally, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah, when she first meets Rio, she apologizes to her.
Yeah. It's, like, very funny stuff. Like, I just love, like, she just keeps saying, like, I'm sorry for my arrogance, or, like, something, you know, something like that. And she keeps hiding. Like, I think that's the funniest thing. Like, she keeps hiding. So, like, you're saying she goes into, like, she plays the concert, like, in a box, like a big box. Or, like, she'll, like, hide in the trash can. Or she'll, like, hide in a pipe at, like, the park or wherever they're at. And, like, they keep saying, like, come out, you know? Like, it's just really, like, funny that, you know, she feels like herself in, like, you know, damp, what is the song in the beginning, like, damp cold places, or not, I don't know, enclosed like places, something like that. So that's really funny. One of the other points, so, like, she is uploading her music to, like, YouTube or whatever, and she uses the name Guitar Hero, and she's, like, very popular online, and people just think she's, like, this prodigy and stuff. But she doesn't tell anybody that in the band. Like, at first they think, like, she's kind of bad. Like, she's, like, a novice. And they're, like, very encouraging. Like, oh, don't worry. Like, you'll get good one day. But, like, she really is good. But, like, her anxiety is holding her back so much that she can't show them, like, how good she is.
And, well, she struggles playing with the group because of that.
Yes, right. And so she's just, like, having a really hard time. And they're like, oh, it's okay. Like, just keep practicing and, you'll get better. And the only one who knows she's really good is, I can't ever remember these people's names for some reason. The girl who goes to school with her.
Say their hair color. That's Kita.
Kita, yes. I keep wanting to call the blonde Kita.
No.
But, yeah, I don't, anyways. So Kita is the only one who's heard her play when she didn't know she was listening. And she's like, wow, she's really good. But she's playing differently, like, with us, And it isn't until they play the second concert. Well, when she does the street, when she's performing on the street, like, she gets better as she's playing because she's, like, gaining confidence or, like, I guess, like, using some coping mechanisms, right? And so it's not until the second concert when they're auditioning, I guess, to do the second concert that, like, she's like, okay, it's not just for me anymore, it's for my band too. And so so she really, like, puts her heart into it and, like, plays really well, and everybody's like, wow, she's playing differently. So they still don't know, right? After episode 6, like, they still don't know that that's her online.
Yeah, well, it's implied that the manager knows.
Ah.
Or at least, like, she has, like, a revelation, like, looking at her at one point, but that's not, like, stated.
Yeah, so it's, and I thought Kita, like, was putting it together, but I think I might have misinterpreted that, or, like...
Well, she says she's really good, why do they think she's bad? Like, thinks that to herself.
Okay, maybe that's what it was, yeah. But, yeah, so they don't know that that's her, and they don't know, like, how good she is, so I think it's gonna get more interesting, like, in the next set of episodes, like, I'm sure she's going to, like, really show how good she is, and they're going to be super impressed.
Yeah.
Because they did reference, like, Guitar Hero in one of the episodes, and they were like, yeah, she's really good, except for her username. And she was like, oh, my dad. Like,
yeah, she said her dad told her to name her account.
Yeah, her dad told her to use it, yeah, which is really funny. But, yeah, so I love that she, like, finds this, and she says it, like, she has this, like, community online, and she's able to, like, really show her talent, and, like, people are very encouraging, and, she just is like, why, I wish I could do that, like, offline, too. But it's so, like, sweet how encouraging the other girls are, like, when she's working at the club, and she's, like, so scared to talk to people at the counter and get, like, their drink orders and stuff. And, like, she's just like, okay, I have to do it. Like, just hyping herself up and being scared at the same time. And, like, having, like, breakdowns. And they're all like, are you okay? I just think it's just, like, a sweet... Like, it's sweet watching her, like, come into her own, like, little by little by little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought when she's trying to get Kita to join the band and she texts her band members, like, she's like, they're super cool, they party every night and stuff. She's like, text them to be like, when I come in, be blaring EDM and get a bunch of energy drinks.
Yeah, and they're like, why?
Yeah, but they do that anyways.
Yeah, they did it. They're like, we got the energy drinks you asked for.
Yeah, and they're called, like, Moth Star Hamagy or something.
Yeah, like, what? Yeah, that was kind of funny. Yeah, I noticed that.
The bit where, she's, like, she hides under the stairs, which is, like, a storage space, to eat lunch, and then, Kita comes by and she's, like, eavesdropping, and there's, like, a kids don't do this at home, like, symbol pop up or something, because she's like precariously placed on top of like the storage stuff. They're like all stacked up.
Yes, yeah, I think that's funny. Yeah, and I love how it's like she wants people to talk to her so bad, and like she thinks that's like the key to like coming out of her shell and like being noticed, but like nobody does because she's been just like such a loner and like doesn't talk to people. And so she keeps saying, like, they said this like multiple times, like, oh no, like I put the onus on everybody else and that's not how it works. You know, like it's like she realizes, but she just keeps doing it again and again. Like if I wear my guitar to school, like they'll talk to me, and then like, oh, if I'm sitting here, like they'll notice me and talk, you know, like just and she's like, oh no, I put the onus on everyone else and it's not working again. And it's like, yeah, girl, you gotta do it yourself. But yeah, I just I thought that was, it's just such an internal struggle, but I love how like we're hearing her internal thoughts, you know.
Yeah, also funny bit where they're like, you have to get a job, and she's like, oh no, that'll go terribly. She imagines herself like, like stammering in front of a customer, and then that going viral on social media, and then her getting the death penalty for creeping out the customer.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love her made up scenarios in her head because like, yeah, that's like her anxiety is like lying to her, you know? Like she's just like blowing up and blowing up like stories that like never actually happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like how she'll like sing sad songs about like stuff that's happening to her a lot.
Yeah.
Like the opening, like the first episode, like one of the opening things, she's like singing a song about how she learned guitar but then didn't manage to form a band or like play in front of anybody.
Yeah, it's like she's narrating what's happening. It's funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and when she's talking to Kikuri, and she's like, yeah, you look like you probably will drink a lot too when you're older. I can see it on your face. And then she imagines like what the future's gonna be like for her.
Yeah.
Just like really dark humor, honestly, because it's just like a miserable scene.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think she tells her, like Bocchi tells her, like something like that can't be healthy. Like,
yeah.
like she's like watching her just drink over and over and over. And she's like, yeah, this is what I do. And then Bocchi's like, no, I don't know. Like, that can't be healthy. But she says it so, like, softly. Like, it's just, like, you know, kind of funny. But I love how people, like, push her to, like, open up and, you know, try new things and stuff. And she lets them, which is, you know, like, she's having, like, an internal, you know, anxiety attack. Well, and external, I guess, because sometimes they're like, what's going on with you? Are you okay? But, yeah, I love how she, like, still is like, okay, no, I need to do this to grow. Like, she's very self-aware.
Yeah. Although she does think her dream of, like, becoming popular is very, like she thinks that's, impure motive, she calls it.
Yes.
Which is like, that's such... fine, kid. Like...
Yeah. It's, that's an interesting aspect to her, that she wants to go unseen, but her, like, dream is to be seen. Her dream is to be noticed and to be, like, popular and have friends. And I love when they're doing, like, the band stuff. They're like, how can we be more band-like? So they're, like, taking band photos and profos, what they call them. Promotional photos, and they're just like, okay, what else can we do to be like a band? And they have like, they're like wearing zip ties as bracelets, kind of thing.
Oh, that's because their band name is Japanese for zip tie.
Yeah,
which is an English pun. Like those are both English loan words. That's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So they're doing all that, and she's like very emotional about it because she's like, I have never taken pictures with people, or like I've never taken pictures with friends or hung out with friends or, you know, any of that. And so it's like, it really means like a lot to her, more than just like for the band, but for her personally. So that's like it's a cute little commentary. And then I also thought the part was really funny with like her little sister. Like at one point, I guess when she was talking about, like, selling the tickets, maybe, her sister was like, well, you don't have any friends. And she's like, I do have friends. I have 1 million friends at school, you know? And she's just, like, making it up. And her sister's like, I've never seen any of them. She's like, they're there. And like, she's
Well, she also looks at her and says, like, stop talking about this.
Yeah. She's like, you shouldn't ask people that. Like, it's really funny that she like gets so defensive with her little sister, even though it's like 100% true.
Although she's also like eavesdropping on her at one point, and she's like, Bocchi's possessed.
Yeah.
Because she's like imagining, I need to be more outgoing. I need to act like an outgoing person.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the like role playing type of thing. Like, what would a person do in this situation? Or when she's about to like meet at the cafe, and she's like, how do you even enter the, and I thought they like captured like that social anxiety pretty good. Like how does one enter a cafe? Like, what do? Do you just go in the door? Like, how do you do this, And she's like, what do they do on like TV shows? She like walks in and says, I forgot what she says, but it was something like really funny.
Yeah, it's like a one-liner from a sitcom style thing.
Yeah, like something like, are we winning or something? Yeah. Like, I don't know. Something like about that. Like being winners. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like just really funny because she's like, okay, how do other people do this? Let me act like that. Which I think is like, a nice, again, coping mechanism. Like, and I think like people actually do this, like in real life. So it's, you're like, okay, let me picture. How does like a quote normal person do this?
Yeah, but she also has trouble opening the door to the club.
Yeah. And she's just sitting on the steps like waiting. She's like, I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna give it 10 minutes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, love that. I can't wait to see what happens. Actually, like I'm very invested in this story now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the opening, by the way?
I like the opening. It's like her singing this song about like herself, and she's like, I like to, be in, I forget what she says, but basically like dark places and like, how she's just kind of like having trouble with life.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's nice.
What's that? That's like supposed to be one of the songs they write in the show. That song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think it was written for this show.
Yeah. Oh, it's cute. I think it's like, it was a good song. Like, like I listened through the first, I think I was, saying this, that I listened through the first time. And then like the second time I was like, this is actually like a pretty good song. and then like I skipped it a couple of times, but yeah, it was a good one. I liked it.
Chad, the full version of that song has 2 key changes, which don't show up in the shortened version for the opening.
Oh, is that the song that they sing with the for the audition, or was that a different song?
No, that's a different song.
Okay, I didn't notice what was what.
Yep.
Yeah.
When we watched Death Note, I asked, "What do you think will happen next?" a few times, but like I don't know that there's like a surprise for what's gonna happen next in this show.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's gonna keep like coming into her own, like through the music, through the band. And I think they're gonna figure out that, she's Guitar Hero online.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably gonna like confront her about that and be like, why didn't you tell us? Or like, why did you suck the first the first time we were playing? But I think she's gonna kind of like find her place. Now, I don't know if they're gonna be like rock stars, but
I will tell you, the show doesn't get that like far enough for that to like.
Okay.
If that does happen, that'd be like a season 2 or beyond thing.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. But I think like also, like it doesn't, to me, the show, like the way the show is, it doesn't really matter like if she realizes that dream of becoming like a rock star. It's like more important that she's really coming out of her shell and like really pushing herself and like trying to better herself, like she knows like her anxiety is holding her back, and like so she just keeps pushing forward. So I think like the rest of these episodes in season 1 are gonna be like she's gonna be more and more like less doubtful and more confident, is what I'm predicting.
So you're saying the real rock star was the friends we made along the way?
Yes, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good one. Now, okay, so I did have a question, like Kita. So I thought she was like very anxious at first when she like she didn't want to play again, and then like Bocchi kind of like was dragging her to the club, and she's like, "Wait, I know this club. I was in this band," like.
Yeah.
So it seemed like she was very anxious about it, and she said she like first joined because she thought what's her name?
Rio.
Rio. She thought Rio was cool.
I mean,
and
that's one way of putting it.
well, she had like a crush on Rio. And so she's like, I want to join the band, and then I decided like I couldn't do it.
Well, she didn't know how to play guitar.
Yeah. And so like, but I kind of got like she was kind of like embarrassed about her like crush. And so does that come out like in the next episodes?
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was eager to see like that too. And then, oh, another funny part that I failed to mention was when they all get these like little bob wigs.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
And they're all like in their own hair color, and I thought they all like cut their hair.
No, it's just a wig.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's awful. And then like they're like, yeah, we're taking the next step as a band. And they all have these like terrible wigs on, with like really short hair. That's like,
and they're
like
wearing suits because Rio's like, this is how you stand out.
Yes, I love that. Like, it's just like, no, we're not doing this. Yeah.
Also, the Kitora thing, where Kita's like extroverted aura shines out.
Yeah.
And sometimes Bocchi's like, I can't look at her straight in the face.
Yes, I forgot about that too. Yes, she's like her like basically like her need to improve is just like blinding me. Like, yeah, it's just really funny because she's just like awestruck by like how much like she wants to improve. And she's like, I think that was kind of funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Bocchi the Rock, the first half of it. Very funny show. I think just like their banter as characters are like, well-realized characters. Really good timing, like snappy line delivery. The cutaways are great. Like Bocchi, like catastrophizing about something or another.
Yes.
Just really sharply written. It's really like a cute, heartwarming show about her overcoming her anxiety and making friends.
Yeah, and like you said, it's funny. Like, it's comical along the way. And like, I am not like, the only time I ever watch anime is like if you're like, hey, watch this. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't go watch it like myself, but like this story like really captures your attention, and like I would definitely like I said, like I want to watch the rest of it. Like I want to see what happens, because it's like I think it's just very well done. So props to the creators and the production and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else to add?
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't mention, this show is not in English. It's English subtitled.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, which, usually most shows these days get, a dub on most anime. I think it's not in this case because it's both a comedy and a musical. Two genres that are notoriously difficult to, translate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, particularly, like, singing, because, like, that doesn't always line up well.
Yeah. Well, I thought this was kind of funny. So, like, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I need to turn it up. Like, I can't hear, like, what they're saying. And then I was like, wait, I don't need to hear, like, I can, you have to hear the sound, too. But, like, I could hear the sound, but I was like, wait, I can't hear what they're saying. And I'm like, I can't understand what they're saying anyway. Like, I have to read the subtitles.
Yeah.
Why do I feel the need to make it louder? And that was kind of funny.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I just thought that was notable that it's, subtitled only.
Yes. Yeah, and I did have a little bit of a hard time at first finding, like, the English subtitles, because I was, like, looking on all these different places. And I was like, oh, okay, like, that one's not working. Let me go find one that does, because otherwise I will be lost. Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
But, yeah, I guess that's everything.
Yeah.
I'll take us out.
Okay.
That has been Beach View. Thanks for listening and tune in next time. Bye.
Bye.